desk. I know to you, it might sound strange.
This is Jessica Webster.
And this is Sam Pogue of the Fitness Break Room podcast. Sit back, take a well-deserved break, and learn about the journey that helps shape the most successful fitness professionals in the industry today. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fitness Break Room podcast. I'm your host, Sam Pogue. I'm sitting in here, beautiful San Diego, California, with a couple of amazing humans, Missy Bunch, Ryan Steenrod, founders of Death of the Desk and Drive to Thrive, and Missy Bunch Fitness. That was a mouthful.
You did so good.
I mean, so many things right there.
So many things. So Missy and Ryan and I have had the opportunity to get to know each other over the last, year and a half, 2 years. And it's been really special getting to know you guys, and really excited to sit here and talk about your journey into fitness, Death of the Desk, and being young entrepreneurs and having shit going on in your life. So it's going to be fun.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for having us.
So obviously, since Death of the Desk is sitting right here, maybe you can tell us what Death of the Desk is.
Yeah, sure. Rye's going to take it.
Oh, right. Death of the Desk is a metaphor for moving the sedentary world. You know, how often have we been just used to sitting at a desk all day, or sitting in your car to work, sitting on the bus to work, getting home being tired, sitting and relaxing because you're tired. And because of that, a lot of bad things happen to our bodies. So we created Death of the Desk as a way to inspire people and teach people and educate people on how to move their bodies so that they can essentially just feel amazing. Whether they're at work, whether they're watching their kids, playing a sport, whether they're just standing in a meeting, they can do something to move their bodies, and that's what Death of the Desk is about. Because, listen, we're not here to kill the desk because we know it's it's necessary. We tend to need to sit at desks in certain circumstances or sit down, but you can move your body in every possible scenario. So,
can we make a video like Office Space where we just throw the printer on the ground, or it's a desk, and you guys just bash it with some baseball bats? I think that'd be an awesome hype video.
That's our intro video.
I love it. Perfect.
I love it.
So where did this idea come from? Like, why did you guys start? I mean, why did this come into like an idea in your guys' head for you guys to do together? Because you guys did this by yourselves already, right, in your training businesses, but now it's like a full force effort to launch this.
I'll let Missy take this one.
Yeah, basically, it is so cool because it's such an organic, natural story. So we were both doing it already. We both had one-on-one training clients and semi-private classes, and our clients would always say, what should I be doing at work? And to you and I, it's like, there's so much you can do while you're at work, right? Yeah. We think it's simple, but to someone who hasn't been raised or brought up in a moving, kinesthetic, movement-oriented lifestyle, right? They've never taken a dance class or played soccer or anything. They don't know the possibilities, even just seated. So they would just say, what should I be doing at work? And we're like, just take 2 minutes and, rotate your neck, make some shoulder circles and move your wrist. And they were like, this is amazing. I mean, they just thought it was the coolest thing. Yeah. And we were doing that for our clients already. And he had started posting some videos on Facebook. So when we met, I was like, wow, I love that demographic as well. Let's put out a video about carpal tunnel. And I just did a couple simple wrist moves and one way you can stretch a nerve to activate it. And it got 3,000 views the first time we posted a video together. And we're small time people, so that was a big deal for us. We thought, holy moly, 3,000 people saw that. And we didn't have a microphone. We didn't have lighting. It was terribly filmed and people really wanted it. So we thought, let's do another one.
Yeah.
And then that transferred into, do you think you guys could come into my office and talk about this a little bit? And we thought, oh, yeah, I think we can do that. You want to do that? And we just pretended like we'd done it a million times, went into an office and made a contract and sent an invoice. And so the Death of the Desk mission started super naturally and out of a need and a desire people had, and we already love doing it. So it's been really cool meeting someone who has the same passion as I do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it all started, and now we have a full-fledged business out of it.
That's awesome. And these guys are going through a really cool opportunity. They just moved to San Diego from San Francisco and Chicago, and now here in beautiful San Diego. We're not going to go into the story as to why they don't live in Austin. That's a different podcast. It's my only failure in sales ever.
We lived there for 10 days.
10 days, and they didn't move to see me. It's okay. I'm not bitter at all.
At all.
But, now it's like they're getting married soon. They got a business going on. They just moved to a new city. So restarting their training businesses, right? I mean, Missy does quite a bit of online with some of her clients, and Ryan's now in the online space with Drive to Thrive. And so that's nice to be able to have that in case you do move again. But it's starting over with the training business is not easy. It's just like you're just more experienced than when you were however old you were.
Yeah, it's been a fun challenge for us. I've never really we haven't really been in the online space too much, but it's an interesting time that we're in with technology, and that, listen, you're never going to replace in-person training. Yeah. Like it's very necessary. But as we start to evolve, and try to create value for people, we live in an age where it's very social driven. How much value can we create for somebody that's not able to leave their desk or their office or work, or they're not able to leave their house at the time, or whatever it is? What kind of content is very valuable to people? And I think that's how we started, with just posting things on social media. The reason why it took off is because there was some sort of value to somebody, that they were sitting wherever they were, and they just said, oh yeah, I can do this. Yeah. So, in the space that we're at now, with Drive to Thrive, the online business, and just really creating educational tools and training for people wherever they are, it's a cool time because we can touch more people.
Well, it's great too. Like, these guys have been in the industry, 8-10 years as well, and multiple facets. So it's not like, they have decades and decades of experience, but they're not brand new. And so they're still going through evolving how they can continuously deliver in the market into things that are important to them, which I think is super important. But I know that there's a story for both of you, and how you even both got into this field, and why it was such an important factor for your hearts to be here and help other people. Maybe you can each tell us the story of why you're in fitness in the first place. And I got to hear it yesterday.
Oh, you should go first.
Well, okay. I was an athlete. I was a very active kid. I was an athlete in high school, and then I played a little bit of college baseball. But as that started to kind of come, to an end, I became very sedentary. Going out and drinking with friends and practicing destructive habits was a lot more fun to do than be active. And so that kind of took hold, and I was super unhealthy. I was 35 pounds overweight. One day I was walking up the stairs going out of breath. Like, this isn't the person that I used to be. This isn't who I am. And like any kind of bad habits and bad, unhealthy things, it takes a little while to break those cycles. And so eventually, as I started to become more active, I didn't know what to do. My thought process was like, I'm just going to go run to lose weight or whatever it was, but that tends to be very inefficient for me. Yeah. And I think for a lot of people too, it's just starting to take a hold of better habits and just enjoying that process. So as I started to enjoy that process and, get back into weight training and everything, I really, really enjoyed it. And I really, really enjoyed tapping back into my, high school and college roots of being active and fun and participating in sports. So it was only a natural fit for me after I was sitting in a desk for 10 hours a day going, oh my God, I'm so unhappy. This is not what I want to do. I feel like I have so much more to give to the world. So quit my job and I started training and knew nothing about it when I got into it. And over the years, you learn from experience. You learn by getting in the trenches and coaching people and teaching people and see what works and seeing who you enjoy working with. And just really honing the skills and developing my ability to coach. And then that led into a natural progression of wanting to own your own space And so we opened a gym, and it was all about group training with the tools that stood the test of time: body weight, kettlebells, barbells, just moving your body. And so essentially that was my route into the fitness industry.
What was your first job in the fitness industry?
I worked for a corporate gym.
Okay. So you quit your job, got a CPT cert.
Yeah, just a regular, I think NESTA or something like that. Yeah, and just took my first consult and had no idea what I was doing.
But they don't prepare you for that? That's weird. Here, got a letter behind your name.
Don't even know what I'm looking for. Like, let's do this. And you know, your job in the corporate space in terms of the gym area, the box gym is to sell as much training, sell as much supplements to it, and you know, so it's a numbers game. And I didn't like pushing that on people. I wanted to actually just teach people and educate people. And that takes time to develop those. Yeah. So from there, I went into a space where we were working more closely with a chiropractic and physical therapists, and then learning more on the medical side of how they're kind of working with people and how we can start training them people. And then my philosophy evolved into, we can blend this therapy side and strength side and kind of come up with something that's works both ends of it. It doesn't have to be super high intense all the time. It doesn't have to be super remedial. Although we can use both at times, we can have a blend of that within our training sessions and get people leaving feeling really, really good. Mm-hmm. You know, you can always beat yourself down in a workout, but you know, can you leave the session better than when you started? Yeah. Feeling really good. So, you know, and that just takes being in it and experiencing it and gaining the tools and access to different people to do that. And that's for everybody. Everybody's journey is a little bit different, but that was mine.
How did you not get discouraged in the box gym setting where you're not someone who really likes pushing just sales on people for the sake of just selling, and in that type of really high volume business, that you don't get discouraged where you're like, this industry just isn't for me, where you like looked for other opportunities?
I did.
Yeah.
I got discouraged.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't like it, and I pulled back, and then, you know, you pull back and get discouraged, but then it's taking that time away to reflect and say, hey, you know what, doing the things that make you uncomfortable are good. And people define their values, you know, most of the time it's not defining their values of what they know they want, it's what they know they don't want. Yeah. That they go to the other end of the spectrum from it. And so going into that, it was like, yeah, this is good for me because I know what I don't want to do. If I ever own a gym, I know what I don't want to, how I want to run it. And yeah, but there's a lot of discouragement there. You just got to bounce back from it. You got to think about it and bounce ideas off fellow coaches and trainers and learn. And if you're always learning, that's the name of this game. Yeah. You know, we'll never always know everything. In fact, I don't know anything. Yeah. I want to feel stupid inside of a room.
I'm in that book too.
You know, Missy talks about it a lot too. Is that when when we're not the smartest person in the room, that's where you want to be.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, so you went through this progression a lot of people want to do. They start out at a box gym, learn how to build a clientele, which I think is a super safe way to do it. And it does give you one end of the spectrum, right? And as opposed to being in the boutique sports performance setting, you're in the box gym setting, training Grandma Betty, and being able to help her, whatever that goal is, right? But then you went to a smaller facility, right? A more boutique facility with a medical side. And then you opened up a gym in Chicago. And I think a lot of people do eventually hope to open their own space. Like that's a big pride thing for them, as well as a journey. Tell us about that experience of going from just an everyday contributor and a sales guy and a trainer and a coach to an owner, and how that went.
It's nothing that I expected it would
be. You weren't just making money hand over fist day one because you were a coach?
Yeah, no. In fact, I don't think we even pulled a dime from our gym until after the first year. Mm. I mean, that's it. I think there's this idea of glamour in people's eyes when they first open, that like this is going to be like your celebrity trainer or something when you have your own gym. And there's pros and cons to it, right? You get to make your own schedule, kind of.
Yeah, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. Yeah. It's an awesome schedule.
Yeah, you chose.
Kind of. But it's, I think if you enjoy the process of it and learning, you know, I grew up in a household where, you know, we owned a car wash. So it like, get your hands dirty and go do it. And, you know, the process of building out a gym, of like cutting the mats and like racking your hands up and having your back hurt from taking these 100-pound mats and painting and everything. That's fun to me. Like that's like there's that creative process that happens that you get to mold something from nothing, you know, that at the end of the day is like, wow, we created this facility, this gym that was a used furniture store that wasn't even made to be a gym. And like the walls weren't meant to hang bars on, and we did it anyways, and we figured it out. And that's cool. And I think when you go into something and you don't really expect anything out of it right away, you just want to create, it gives you a level of patience that I think a lot of people don't have, you know, like patience to stick with something. But it was hard. It was so hard. And I wouldn't take it back for the world. Like it's so much fun though at the same time. And you have to love that process of getting dirty every single day. And, you know, if you stick with it slowly, you know, we didn't know anything about business. You know, nothing.
Have you guys noticed the common trend with some of these guests that have opened gyms? They're like, yeah, I'm really good at fitness and I have no fucking idea how to start a business.
No clue how to run a business. And you figure it out. And, you know, some people, they, you know, learn from their mistakes faster, and some people don't. And some people that never learn from their mistakes end up being out of business. And, you know, so you have to fail really fast and learn really fast. And I think that's really cool to do, you know, if you have the patience for it, if you can stick with it. So, you know, eventually we just kind of like, you add to it every bit a day. We bootstrapped it pretty much. I mean, we had a little bit of investment, not much. It was enough to build out a front room, and we had 2 rooms to build out, but, we built it out, and then we got a few members in, and then it was like, okay, how are we going to pay next month's rent? Well, we got to get a few more members. Okay, how are we going to pay next month's rent? Okay, you need a few members, and you just keep going at it. That was the way we did it.
Yeah. Eating top ramen in the corner, cup of noodles.
Yeah, we were eating Fiber One bars, and we're going like, these things are making me gassy. Like what? But we can't afford anything else. So.
Right? Yeah.
And you look at the ingredients, go, I'm poisoning myself every single day. Why? That's why I don't feel so good.
So I can help others not poison themselves.
Yeah. But the cool thing about running the businesses was it started my process into wanting to create Drive to Thrive, because through that 5-year process of running the gym, you know, I stressed myself. I was stressed out to the point where I like was developing hives.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I was bloated. I was inflamed. You know, you're talking about somebody who is teaching people how to be good at fitness, yet they're not. And I think I've talked to a lot of people who run gyms and facilities, and they're the last person that is getting taken care of because they're taking care of everybody else. And, you know, so you don't sleep enough. You're drinking too much coffee to keep you going. You're working, you know, 18, 20 hours a day. You're not eating right, maybe because you can't afford to, or maybe because you just don't take the time to meal prep or whatever it is. And through that whole process, you know, I started to learn meditation and you know, making sure that I was fueling myself the right way and taking the breaks that I needed to and recovering. And that was the basis of the online program Drive to Thrive. Is I had this vision of like, okay, all these people who are traveling all the time or working all the time and don't have the time, quote unquote, to take care of themselves. But that, you know, that's BS. There's always time to take care of yourself. It's just about planning and figuring out things that work for you. And so, you know, here's a program that we wanted to I wanted to develop to improve people's mindset and how they're approaching exercise, improve people's ability and education to work on fitness, improve people's ability to plan better to eat, and ultimately recover better. And like let's look at these kind of 4 pillars of a whole rounded approach, taking care of yourself, that maybe we're doing one thing but not the others, you know. And that was just, again, another idea, another business that was created, another way of helping people that was created out of going through the crap that you go through and figuring it out.
That's awesome, man. It's like you've got to live the experience on top of now shaping the route that you're trying to help other people. 'Cause you went through it too. It's not like you were, you know, 5-star whatever athlete, shredded always, and then it's like, yeah, I'm gonna help you get in shape. It's like, do you even know what it's like to be in the real world that doesn't just eat chicken and broccoli and tilapia or whatever it is, right? And it's like you've gone through some shit.
Yeah.
And I think that teaches you a lot about how you can help, because for me being a trainer, I remember working with corporate clients. They're like, sometimes they'd be like, dude, you're like 23, like you're not quite there yet. And it's like they appreciated like my wanting to help them with their stuff, but they're like, you don't get corporate life. I was like, okay. I mean, at first you're like upset about that, but then you realize that you don't until you've gone through that process with them. So I think it's really powerful that you've spent that time with them too. And you're continuously a student for yourself and growing, which I think is really great. But hopefully you guys saw that there's a lot of journey inside of to get to where he is today, and a couple moves and new relationship. And it's like those elements of the journey is what shapes the success that he has, right? It wasn't, I mean, if you came out of school and like just did this, you may not have the same appreciation. Doesn't mean you wouldn't have been as successful, but it definitely makes you appreciate it more.
I think the phrase "enjoy the process," I really like that phrase.
Yeah.
And it's a hard phrase to kind of go back to, but you have to continually remind yourself, you like the process or not? And the process is the whole journey, right? We always think outcome. Well, if you're falling in love with the outcome, then that's the problem.
It's going to be a real pain in the butt. So thank you for sharing that story with us.
Yeah.
Aw.
Good job.
Missy B.
Yeah. I was just thinking how when he was saying that, how much I love being an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is a grind, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Really?
I hate easy. I mean, it drives me crazy.
Mm.
I hate comfortable. I hate easy. I love taking risks. I feel alive. So, yeah, it's just a process that I really, really love. So my story is very different.
Have you scoot this just a little bit closer to your
dang.
mouth? I know.
I was wondering when that was going to
I'm
happen.
going to have you go right up to your mouth.
Oh, closer.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
I'm very loud.
I know.
I didn't think you'd want it closer. How about that?
That's perfect.
Right there?
Yes.
I thought you were like, please
Closer.
move that.
Closer.
Closer.
Please move that away from your mouth.
No, you're great. It looks great right there, right next to your mouth.
Okay.
Makes it so it's nice and clear.
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Everybody, yay. So, I come from a dance background. So I've been dancing since I was like 3 years old. I don't even know if that counts, but I was up there and I remember being super tiny. And then I know you're going to say a joke. So
We spend a lot of time together.
yeah.
So
I was very young. I was like 3 or 4 or whatever. And I remember the feeling being on stage gave me, like, as a performer and an athlete, like, I just knew people were up there and all you can see is lights. You can't really see faces and you're supposed to execute something, And I remember being at San Francisco State and I was getting my dance degree at the time and I was always looking over in the kinesiology department and like, what are they doing over there? And I had secretly always wanted to be a trainer of some sort. I've been teaching movement my whole life, but I just always thought I want to be a personal trainer. Is it good?
yeah, you're fine. I'm just making sure.
Okay. So anyways, life goes on. I graduate. I was dancing for the Warriors, stopped doing that. And then I started working for Sephora headquarters, which is like super cool.
Makeup, right?
It's like, yes, it's makeup.
Okay.
It's a big deal for women. And I was working on First and Market in downtown San Francisco, pencil skirts, blazers, heels, the whole thing. I thought it was so cool. And I hated it. I was sitting at a desk. I gained weight. It was when I got my first migraine. I felt like a wild tiger trapped in a cage. And I'll never forget typing some stuff in. And then the bottom right screen, a little like chat box comes up. And my boss said, "Pizza's here in the break room." And I was like a little gopher. I like looked over the cubicle and I watched the whole floor rise and start going towards the break room. And it hurt my soul to watch. It was like the highlight of our day was pizza in the break room. And I just thought to myself, I cannot be a part of this. I want to be doing something with my life that makes people healthy and better and alive, not never see sunshine, eat pizza. They want you to be happy, so they feed you a lot and keep everything you need there. Coffee, tea, Mexican food, And so I just thought, oh my gosh, I got to do something. And so I take a course called the Landmark Forum, and it's a 3-day course. I meet someone there, and he says to me, I got to go to work. I'm a trainer. And I said, well, what do you mean? You do that? You do that for a living? Like all day? And he was like, yeah, I've been doing it for a long time. And I didn't know you could do that. It just never occurred to me that you could coach people in movement all day and make a living. And he said, yeah, let me know if you ever want to talk about it. I said, yeah, I definitely want to talk about it. If you can do it, I can do it. So I signed up for NASM, got certified. I was like walking around with my little book at coffee shops, studying. I thought it was so cool. I was so excited. And the first job I took, I was working for my girlfriend, Kristen Nolan, and I did boot camps. She taught me how to teach boot camps. So I was interning. I made no money. I was waiting tables on the side so I could teach boot camps. And I was teaching 4 classes a day. I did that for a really long time. And it was no money. And then it was $12 an hour, then $24 if you were there for like a year. It was brutal, but I was determined and I really liked her.
Right.
So
good thing San Francisco is really cheap and affordable to live
exactly.
in. So that really helps.
That made everything much easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was waiting tables to survive and then also trying to become a coach. And so boot camps turned into semi-private classes. And then I got one-on-ones and thought I was so nervous my first time. And then it just turned into that's all that I did. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got into fitness. And then that, started to twist into the Z Health realm because of my injury. And
I want to hear about that.
You want to hear?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Don't skip over that.
Don't do that. Yeah.
It's the good part.
Yeah, it is.
That's the juicy part.
Because a lot of people get into this because they got hurt.
Yeah.
Or some sort of life-changing
right.
injury where it's like, or transformation where you're like, fuck. All right, and it shifts you.
Yeah. So basically.
We can cuss on this podcast.
We can. Yeah.
You guys can.
I know.
Oh, that's so much more emphasis on
you wish you would have known that. So I'm dancing for the Warriors. It's my 2nd year, and we're doing these things called fuetes, where you turn. I'm in the middle of the court. There's literally the basketball, and I'm going. I have 32 counts of turns, which is a very long time in the dance world. 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 32, and I'm just going. And if you guys don't know this, the NBA floor is very sticky. It's not smooth and slick the way it looks. It's meant so that if you make lateral moves, you don't slide. And so the bottom of the shoes are also sticky. So if you're trying to turn with a sticky shoe and a sticky floor, you're not really going to go very far. So I just thought I'm just going to muscle through this. And I start going. And one of the turns, I go and my foot stays. And I hear this loud thing. It was like a pop of some sorts, and it kind of vibrates up my body, and I'm thinking the F word. Like, holy crap. Something is wrong here. Like, I felt it everywhere. Something's wrong.
You're still dancing.
And you're still going. You still have to go. There's 20,000 people watching you. What are you going to do? So I'm just like, smile gets bigger. I'm like, something's really bad's happening to me. And whatever, we end the thing, do the pose, go off into the tunnel. I fall to the floor and just something with my knee. And the guy comes over and they're like, okay, it seems okay. It's probably a strain. Don't really know what happened. So to keep performing throughout the next couple games, I would just get cortisone shots in my knee. And I was like, well, that doesn't hurt anymore. And then the next day it would hurt. It was very odd. And so I spent the next 3.5 to 4 years just trying to figure out what to do with my knee pain. I was going through that whole personal training process. I couldn't do anything though. Like, I couldn't demonstrate squats. I could barely walk. So I basically had to change my career path because of this knee injury that was like the size of a quarter on the lateral side of the knee. It was very, very frustrating. And finally, I meet this girl, Kristen, because I'm working for her doing the boot camps. And she said, hey, I don't know if it'll work, but let's try this thing called Z Health that I learned. And I'm actually, it's actually through text message. So I'm at Nordstrom and I'm going shoe shopping. Yay, shoes. And if you guys have been to the San Francisco Mall, the Nordstrom elevators are these huge gold doors. Yeah. And so she's texting me, hey, remember that thing I took, Kelsey? I'm like, whatever, I'll try anything. And she texts me, just do like a baby lunge on your left leg, stick your right arm out and do those elbow circles that I taught you. And you obviously need those. I don't know if you guys could hear that pop, but so I'm looking in my phone, right? It's like in my purse. And I'm like, okay, right elbow circle. And I do a couple elbow circles and the door's open. And the next couple steps I take, I don't have knee pain. And I was very confused and surprised. I was angry. I was annoyed. I was upset. I was like, what the F just happened? And I'm crying. I'm excited. I was like, what was that? Why did that work when I had done everything that I knew to do? And I was in the health field,
right?
You know, so I had gone to PT, strengthen my quads, strengthen my calves, strengthen tibials. I mean, acupuncture, hot cold therapy. I mean, I don't even know. I've tried everything I could think of. And this right elbow circle got rid of my knee pain. And so the next time I saw her, I just said, what was that? Why did that work? And she was explaining to me, you know, during gait, when your left leg is forward, your right arm is forward. No one walks like same arm, same leg, like a G.I. Joe. Like, and it makes so much sense to me. You know, it's so simple, but no one's talking about an opposing joint. And so I was like, whatever, take all my money. Everyone needs to know about this. This is what I need to know. If I didn't know that, what's John Doe doing about his knee pain? You know what I mean? If I didn't know.
Yeah.
And so I took all the courses I could within like 6 months. Apparently most people do it in like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't care. I flew to every course, gave him my credit card. And then I said, how can I be a master trainer for this company? How long will that take? They said another 2 years. Signed up for that. Then went through all of their intensive testing. Did 6 days of being drilled by Dr. Cobb. Was super not intimidating at all.
Wow.
Yeah. So you guys, I don't know.
Didn't even say anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm over here going,
so
yeah,
bad.
I can picture that. That's hard.
I can't even. I don't even know how to get the conversation back.
We
on
enjoy
track.
being very punny.
Yeah.
Obviously. So anyways, that's where I'm at now. So I've been, studying with them for about 8 years and just love it.
Movement changed your life.
Yeah. What is Z Health for those people who are like, what?
Oh, like, what is that?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's an educational company. They teach health professionals around the world how to just use neurology to make what you're already doing a little bit more effective. So there's chiros in there, physical therapists, Olympic athletes. There's also people that aren't in health and wellness at all, and they just like the information. So yeah, it's an educational company, and they focus on neurology and how to kind of hack the body for pain and performance.
And neurology is what?
The study of the brain and how it correlates to everything else, the signals to and from.
Okay.
The brain to the spinal cord to the periphery.
So now looking back at your little knee thing, what was it? What was the neurological effect of what happened there? So that way people can kind of get an idea. Tell us what that means.
Okay. So basically, if you think about walking, when your left leg steps forward, your right arm is also forward. So, we go like this. We're bipedal creatures. Your left knee sends signals to your right elbow. So that's called interlimb neural coupling. It just basically means your knee and your elbow are best friends, and your brain thinks that they're basically the same thing. He's like, oh, when you step like this, your right arm goes like that, and they're kind of the same. Left ankle, right wrist, left hip, right shoulder. So that's one way that the opposing joints work. And also another reason is I don't want to get too sciencey. There's a part in your brainstem that gets really excited if you activate it via the opposite side that your pain is on. So if your left knee hurts and you work on your right side, voluntary movement of a right extremity goes into the contralateral cortex and then down that brainstem. And in the brainstem, there's an area that is supposed to inhibit pain. If he's not doing so well or a little drunk, you're going to have a little bit more pain on that side. So this is where someone who always has injuries on one side is a very clear picture of an area of their brainstem not doing very well. And it's very simple, not easy to activate. So I've got a left ankle. I always sprain my left knee. My left hip hurts. I don't smell out of my left nostril and my left pain, like a lot of same side kind of person. Nowadays, I'm actually more on the right. So there's a couple different ways that the opposing joint stuff works. And that's just a couple that are probably, we'll probably leave it right there because it could get too nerdy.
Yeah. But some people are going to dig that. But I think it's important that they got to hear, like, you don't come from an exercise science background. You're not a physical therapist or a chiro, but you found this educational system. And their course, I mean, I haven't done them. I mean, at some point I will. Yeah. But they're dense, right? It's it's very focused and very academic, I guess you would call it. But at the end, if you're able to digest that content, it allows you an opportunity to have a really great tool in your toolbox. It's not the only tool in your toolbox, right? Because you're fully capable of teaching someone how to squat, and it's not just all like chakras or performance resets and whatever therapy or cert that you do. And there's a lot of great ones out there, but it is a really great way to be able to help get your clients out of pain, which is your specialty, right?
Yeah, that's basically what I do, right. And it's awesome because I'm all about practical application. So I think that's the thing that's hard for some people that take Z-Health courses. It's very learning based and academic. So if you can't take that information and then apply it to a human, it's going to be a little challenging. There's no step-by-step protocol because your history shows me how I'm going to work and no one's history is the same. And that's where it's really challenging. You're going to be like, I got hit by a car when I was, I got this and that. So then that leads me down a different path as opposed to someone who's never had an injury. Yeah. That's almost harder to deal with. I'm like, oh, I don't know where I'm going to start then.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, you brought up an interesting point, Sam, too, that I want to just kind of touch on is that how often do we see trainers chase the next cert for the letters after their name instead of learning the material, because I know I've been through a couple of courses like Missy. She's been a lot more to me, but there's so much information there that you have to absorb and then apply and apply and apply and apply until you get really good at that and then move on to the next one. How often are we going, okay, I'm going to do this course and then this course and then this course, but then you're actually not really learning anything. Yeah. You just have the initials after your name and you can go back to the books, I guess, but how do you know what to apply in what scenario unless you've actually absorbed that information and know it? Yeah. Not just regurgitate it, but know it inside and out.
So then are you looking at like, off that, it's like we each have our own little niches. Doesn't mean that's the only niche that we live in, right? But you really focus on getting people out of pain, right? And I guess, and you're not this overall, but like initially you were probably a kettlebell guy or that's how people would associate you is a kettlebell guy, right? Coming through the early, was it RKC? Or did
RKC, you go Strong First, yeah.
Yeah, and so then, but like now you're so much more than that too. Not that you weren't before, but really allowing yourself, like having something that people know you for is called branding, right? Weird. But like it's a really good opportunity for people to find you. Doesn't mean that you can't help someone lose fat or doesn't mean that you couldn't help teach someone how to squat, right? You've worked with bodybuilders in the past and doesn't mean that you don't provide value to them. Just doesn't mean that's your specialty, right? And living in the realm as you guys have heard us talk, but like it's a really great way to find a clientele, and then someone's like, you get someone out of pain, right? And then they keep working with you, right? Maybe they do some training with you on the side or they then move to Ryan and do some like more structured strength and conditioning. And that's a great way. Like it's, like, sure, could I teach you and put you through a little program? Absolutely. Is it what I like doing? Maybe not. Yeah. Right? So being able to take yourself in this education and carving out a niche for yourself where people go to you for that, right? Beyond like, because this industry is hard as shit already. Like, not only do you have to have the technical knowledge, people got to fucking like you, right? And then you got to provide a pain point.
More important.
Like solving a pain point of like getting them out of pain, helping them lose weight. And that's great, but at the end of the day, if they don't like the interaction with Missy or Ryan or me or whoever, you can have all the certs and education in the world, and you're going to be shit out of luck.
And I think that's, it's okay. You don't have to serve everyone. And you get wrapped up in like, I want to impact the entire world, but you're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. You're going to serve the people that you enjoy serving, and they're going to find you.
Yeah.
And be really good at that. And there's plenty of people, there's plenty of business, there's to go around, and there's plenty of people for us to help. And I think it comes back to community, right? Who's your community and who's the community that you're serving? You're not serving every community.
Yeah.
Find that niche, do the things that you want to do, and help people the way that you find it to be most beneficial, and great things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the big thing is I always tell it's okay if you just focus on one thing you really enjoy.
Yeah.
And why I choose the pain side of things is because of what I went through. I literally thought my life was over, basically. I thought no one could help me. I'm hopeless. I have to have this bad knee.
Yeah.
I was my injury. I have a bad knee. Sorry, I can't. I have a bad knee. Sorry, I wish I could join you. I got a bad knee.
Yeah, and it was
so
for
much
everything,
identifying with
right?
stuff.
It was like, can't go to happy hour, can't go dancing, can't go on a date,
I can't
go
do anything. I couldn't walk properly. So, obviously because my passion for it is so personal, that's probably why I'm in this specific little lane. I want that experience I had, that realization I had after a right elbow circle, I want to give that to everyone. I want people to know that there is hope and it's backed by science.
Yeah.
I love the woo-woo stuff. Don't get me wrong. It's just not I'm not like all up in that. I like data. I like research. I like proof. And then I have my personal experience where how did one movement get rid of 4 years of knee pain? Please explain that to me.
Right.
That's really hard to digest, especially as a dancer where, we're stretching our hamstrings for 2 hours a day. And I didn't know you could change your range of motion by doing joint mobility versus stretching the tissue. What if you mobilized where the tissue starts and stops? Never thought about that before.
Right.
I'm super old school. No one's ever given me that thought process. So just really interesting when you get into it. And I like being in my lane because it's easier.
Right.
If I try to be a good strength coach, it's just not good for anybody. It's okay, but
So big defensive tackles aren't coming to you to learn how to power clean. It's weird.
I mean, they could.
They could.
Yeah.
Sweetie, here, hold on, move over here. Yeah,
Pick
stay.
me up. I can power clean, but
well, and I think what's great too is sure you're a Z Health master coach, right? It's something that identifies you, people know you for, and there's a lot of other movement systems out there and a lot of other pain management systems out there.
Oh yeah, totally.
But yet you still take those courses as well.
Oh, I love them.
Because you're a Z, why would you go to others? You're a master coach in Z Health. Why would you go to FRC? Why would you go hang out with Perry? What do you do that for?
I mean, I get kind of zinged for being a little very curious person, and I'm not sorry at all.
Good.
I love taking other courses. I just want to be a sponge to everything, and I think every single system is valid for some client at some point in their life for some reason, and I think all systems are missing something. I love FRC stuff. I wish I was better at it, but again, you have to choose where are you going to dedicate your study time.
Yeah.
And it's almost easier for me to go, you know what? I really love that course. So I'm going to do me and then refer my client out to someone who's better at FRC than me. Or I'll ask a person specifically for coaching. Hey, out of the FRC system, what would you do for a left knee issue? How about I sprinkle that with some neurology? And then Perry stuff, same thing. I love learning from everyone and then taking all of those options. And then I have this human in front of me going, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. And then I look at them like a car engine and you've got a light on.
Yeah.
They've got this signal. Please go into the car place, and I'm like, okay, is it a timing belt? Is it a transmission? How long have you been dealing with it? What tool is going to be best for them that day? Maybe it's not a Z Health technique.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a Perry thing that's lay on the floor and do some rolling patterns. If that gets them out of pain, there you have it.
There's so much overlap to all these systems.
Yeah,
so much overlap.
And at the end of the day, right, you might resonate with the way somebody teaches a particular aspect of a movement more so than the other way. And as going back to what you're saying, what's the best tool in your toolbox? What's the best way to explain that tool in your toolbox? What's the best way to apply that tool in your toolbox? A lot of different ways to do it. A lot of people are speaking the same language, just a few different words.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing I've realized in the last, 8 years of doing Z Health. You can tell when someone's really good if they can explain it to a 9-year-old. That's hard.
Right.
Talking about the lateral this and the superior inferior. That's easy for you and I, but it's really hard to simplify complex topics.
Yeah.
And that's when you're like, holy moly, you're good and you've been working at this.
Right.
And that's why I love the demographic that has to sit all day, because I feel like they need us the most. And I'll say, hey, you see that big nub at the bottom of your leg? Why don't you try to stretch underneath that? And they're like, cool. Instead of saying, let's expand your lateral malleoli into it. No.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. It's you know what I mean? It's like they don't need to know it's called a lateral malleoli. Like, it's a big bone popping out.
It's so funny that you say, because how many instructors, how many systems that, they get railed on, like, that's terrible the way you explained it or the way you did that. Like, do you know how hard it is to take what's in somebody's brain and then put it onto a piece of paper for you to learn?
Yeah.
So hard.
So hard.
And we learn our information from other people, right?
Yeah.
Because then you apply it. And then what we're learning and how we apply it, we're trying to take what's in our brains and make it into a digestible format for
from
somebody.
all the courses.
Yeah, for somebody who's sitting at a desk, whatever. It's hard. And then
they don't even know they have joints, first of all.
And people get critiqued for like, oh, terrible. Like, it's just, oh, that was a terrible way to explain it. Like, you
try to explain
that's
it.
hard, man.
Yeah.
So I just have a lot more appreciation for these people who come up with the systems to teach and apply to different scenarios. So much respect for that. No matter what system that you're doing or how you're applying it or how you're teaching it, if you're coming up and creating stuff that's valuable content for people and education, I got mad props to you.
Yeah.
And I bow down because I get
and
how
our
hard
industry
it
is ruthless.
Yeah.
They are
we all
brutal.
come from different lenses of perspective. Look at the two of you. Like, you came from two different backgrounds in terms of how you got to where you are. Right? Doesn't mean that you're not trying to say the same thing, but you guys could even both be trying to show me how to stretch my lateral malleoli, and like Missy might say it, and I'm like, what? And then Ryan might say, like, do this. Oh, right.
Oh, that's what you meant?
Right. And it's like, it's just that lens of perspective is what allows us to connect with others.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say, I walk through the door and you're like, God, who's this BZ walking through the door? And then it's like, oh, I was a dancer for the Blazers. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm a dancer for the Warriors. And then we have an instant connection.
Yeah.
Right. And then you're instantly ready to want to connect with them.
Yeah.
And so versus like your first impression was like, girl, you're looking nasty.
Yeah.
Or, right. Whatever. But like that lens and that ability to like learn from other people is what makes each person special. And that's why there's room for us. There's room for so many people in this industry to be able to help, right? Like maybe there's someone that you aren't able to help, or maybe they're moving to Long Beach, right? And then you can like, Hunter Cook, I got a person for you.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, because I know they do great work, right? There's billions of people that need help or want to be out of pain or want to lose weight or not happy with the way their body looks.
Yeah.
And
personality matches too, right? Like I've taken on clients I shouldn't have. Based on personality. They wanted the like Marine, just do this and this and this and don't talk to me. And that does not work for me. And it works for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, if you're not in this as a relationship and I'm going to make you think, it's not a good match. Because I make my clients think. They'll go, oh, my pinky hurts. And I go, okay, well, based on how long we've been working together, what do you think you should do?
Right.
And they're like, and I just sit there and I just watch them think, and then what would you do? And then we work through together, and then they figure it out themselves, and I shut up.
Yeah.
which is hard to do. But the more they learn themselves, the better and more effective it is. So
you have an interesting model too, because you're not continuously training people day in, day out, year in, year out, right? You're like, I want to get you out of pain, and then I want you to go do something else. Like, you're going to do 8 sessions with me. Let's get you out of pain quick, and then go train with Ryan, or then go train over here. So that way you can do what you want to do.
Do what you want to do.
And that's make your butt look great, not do the bat wing wave, and then look great in that strapless dress, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever Ryan's goals are.
Yeah.
Those are definitely
Those
his
are
goals.
definitely Ryan. He's getting married soon, so
Strapless
I
top.
need to fit in that strapless dress.
oh,
You know, it's interesting. I have people that see me 2 to 3 times a week, and they will see me for the rest of their lives. They just love what I do. And they know that learning about your body is a never ending process. And that's super fun.
Yeah.
Because they walk in and I'm like, ooh, you know what I'm thinking about? Do you want to work on? And they're like, yes.
yes.
I don't care what it is. You know, we could crush a workout, or we can work on your toe mobility for the whole hour. Either way, they're good.
Yeah.
I love those people because it's a good match.
Yep.
Are you hungover today? Did you eat? Did you sleep? Did you like that alters? I basically don't do anything I program. I look at them like, this is what I had planned. We're not doing any of it based on how you just walked in. You know, it's annoying, but also exciting.
Yeah, you know, so Alyssa Chang, you know, we were talking about this because she's another coach in Drive to Thrive, but we talk a lot about how can we get people to critically think more. You know,
You're empowering people to think for themselves.
exactly.
Oh,
What is wrong with
novel.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And that's you know, Death of the Desk, Drive to Thrive. Like, we get caught up, like, we can critically think in our job. Some people can't, but we can critically think of our job in our daily chores and everything. But when it comes to our health, we don't critically think. We don't problem solve the issues that are in front of our face. We want somebody to tell us what to do, and that's great for a time being. But you know, Missy doesn't want to work with somebody the rest of their life. I don't want to work with somebody the rest of their life. I want to teach them what I know so that they can go do this themselves.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know anybody that has the money to personal train their entire life. Some people do. Most people don't. Most people need a problem that's to be solved or helped solving. And then after that is if we're doing our job as coaches, can we give them the tools, the resources, the education to figure this stuff out on their own and critically think? And I think that is huge that, you know, all the time we're seeing is like, whoa, I didn't think about that. Maybe I should move my wrist if my right ankle hurts. You know? Or, you know, how are you going to problem solve? If nobody was there to tell you what to do, what would you do?
Yeah. Think for yourself. Try to figure it out.
Yeah.
You guys touched on a thing a minute ago about matchmaking in people. And you guys got to be quite the matchmaker. I haven't had a couple on the show yet.
Oh,
so you're the first couple. And they had a really unique story in how they met. And I wanted to share it because it's just a cute story. And so for all you who are looking to find love via the internet and or social media and or fitness, this is like your benchmark. It's like it's not as cute as like reaching for the same zucchini at Whole Foods and like magically locking eyes, but it's pretty. It's right up
now
there.
I know what your vision is.
Oh man! So
Ladies,
you find me in the produce aisle.
Zucchini.
Sam is always in the.
I'm looking for you to grab the zucchini. Whatever
Is
one
it
that is.
organic though?
Oh, it's definitely organic. He'll make some great stir fry later.
Is this a call these days? Stir fry.
Stir fry. Yeah. The kids these days out in Texas. Give us a little idea before we go down that rabbit hole of dick jokes of how you guys met.
Yeah. Well, we talk about how Death of the Desk started, and that was us posting on social media, and that's exactly what, you know, Missy and I were connected on Facebook for 2 years because of Z Health, because I had taken some courses and she had taken some courses. So we were friends on Facebook, but we never talked. It was just, you know, I was looking for people to follow within the program, and she came up. She was an extremely attractive woman that happened to be not available at the time, so I let it go past, you know, whatever. But I posted a video on Facebook of baby rolls. And I don't know if you guys know what baby rolls, but
not like baby rolls, like these kind of
not
rolls,
like baby rolls,
like
but
rolling on the ground.
Yeah, you roll on the ground, baby rolls, and it happened to pop up on her news feed, which never happens. You know, none of her stuff ever popped up on my news feed, but it happened for some reason that day to pop up in hers, and she loved the move, so she commented on it. She's like, "Hey, I'm Missy, blah." And if you know Missy, she's like, "Ah," you know.
That was a terrible Missy impression. I'll turn your volume down to.
Yeah. Anyways,
I have a joke that he's a calm, still lake, and I'm a tsunami, and that's why it works.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Yeah. So she commented on that and was, "Hey, try it this way," you know. So it was like a straight arm, straight leg version of it, and I just said, "Show me."
Nice.
And she goes, I come to find out. She goes, "Oh, you trying to be sassy and whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, well, if she can't take my shit, then I don't want anything to do with her." So,
I did this like bubbly, like, I don't even know who you are. I love this move.
Yeah.
Try it like this. I get so excited. And then he just put, "Show me." I was like, is that attitude? Or is it, when you read text, I'm logical enough to go, maybe he didn't mean it like that. It was just a text.
I meant it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It worked.
That's exactly how I meant it. And it was a weekend, or it was a holiday weekend, and she was gone. She's like, "I'm going out of town, so I'll show you when I get back." And so she ended up sending me a video. I sent her back a video of me doing the movement, and then that turned into Messenger, and Messenger into texting, and texting into FaceTime, and FaceTime into, "Hey, who wants to come visit who first?" She was in San Francisco. I was in Chicago. And so I booked a ticket out there for Halloween. And I think that was a month out. And I couldn't wait a month. So I booked a flight 2 days before weekend, 2 weeks before Halloween, and flew out there. And I was just posted up at the airport when she came pick me up.
Whoa.
Let me just tell you
She was
about
like,
this.
"Oh,
Yeah.
that guy with the gray hair."
And the dreamy blue eyes.
So it's a Wednesday, and he says,
"I don't even know you."
he goes, "I can't wait till the end of the month." He already bought tickets for the end of October, and this is like the first week of it. He goes, I'm not going to wait 4 weeks to meet you. I need to know what this is. And it's a Wednesday, and I'm like, okay. He goes, "I'm going to come Saturday in 2 days." I was like, first of all, I'm busy. Like, no, don't even know who you are. I have like all these things to do. That Monday, I already knew I had 10 clients back to back. I was just like, that kind of day. Had all this stuff. One of my clients was in a bodybuilding competition. I had a baby shower. It was Fleet Week, first of all, in San Francisco. It's a big deal. And I said, I'm too busy. Thank you for your offer. I'll see you during Halloween.
Damn.
And, yeah.
Damn.
I know. I was brutal. And he goes,
were you guys talking like potentially like dating, going on a date, or were you guys still talking movement?
No. Our conversations went deep real fast.
They
Like
were deep.
we vibed on a whole nother level that I'd never experienced before, and it was like, wow, like this person's amazing. I gotta meet her. And I didn't want to. I was fighting. I'm like, I do not want to do a long distance relationship. I'm not doing this again. Like,
there wasn't any flirting though. It was very, I don't know what. It was just like we got along. Like, it was platonic, but we both knew it was something special because we would talk for hours. Hours. And it's like we're both busy. There's no hours to dedicate to talk to someone, and we did it. And so I basically say, "No, you can't come."
Just poof, stiff arm.
Freaking Heisman. And he sends me a screenshot of its flight. He goes, "I'll see you Saturday at 1:20. Figure your schedule out."
Damn.
I was like, this guy has the nerve. And so, I don't know what that is. So I
got tired of you on.
Yeah.
They're like, no one's interested. He shows up and it was like, thanks for picking me up. By the way, he made no hotel plans.
Attaboy.
He just shows up at SFO. I cancel everything I'm doing. And I tell all my girlfriends, I'm like, this guy's coming. And they're like, that sounds real creepy. He's staying
Not
with
romantic?
you?
That's
No, they were
I spent all my
terrified.
hotel money on flight money.
Yeah. Canceled my whole day Monday.
Oof.
10 clients.
Oof.
Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I'm so sick. Cough, cough.
Worth it. Here.
And now we're
Bam.
engaged and getting married.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
Damn.
You know,
That's the story.
that brings up another point though too, is is if it's important, you'll do it, right?
Yeah.
So whether you're talking about health, you're talking about fitness, you're talking about relationships, you're talking about anything, if it's important to you, you will find time. Like nobody, I hear all the time, you have a baby, you go, oh, well, I don't have time to work out, or like, well, you don't have time to have a baby, but then you figure that out, don't you?
Or accidentally.
Yeah.
It figures it out for you.
Regardless, like you figure it out. Oh, I can't wake up that early. Well, if your baby's crying, you're going to wake up for it, for him or her. If you like somebody, you're going to make time to spend time with them.
Yeah.
He was smart. He knew I was going to get snagged up.
Yeah, that's right. So I made time for it.
I mean, even after you tried to like just push away.
Yeah. I literally was like, sorry, that's not going to work for me. He said, awesome. I'll see you Saturday.
I love it.
I've never experienced anything like that. Normally guys are like, oh, okay, cool. I'll see you end of October.
Why did you decide to cancel all your shit? Why didn't you just like, he tried to put the ball in my court and I'm just going to like make you figure it out and squirm a little bit. Like, yep, sorry, I'm not free till like 6.
I liked that confidence.
I did. I liked the confidence. I was like, okay. Well, I thought if he's that, I don't know what the word is.
Correct.
Like going for it.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's something he sees in me that he wanted to do that so last minute. Like booked a ticket on a Wednesday, came out on a Saturday. Like, so I definitely was interested in seeing what it was all about.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting dating when you don't expect to and you're not looking for it and online.
Mm-hmm.
So we were very emotionally connected before we physically met. And that was very bizarre.
Backward.
It was
Almost,
very,
I think.
mostly you meet someone, you hook up, and then you start meeting them and you're
Yeah.
like, oh.
I never hook up on the first date or anything like that. It's all about emotional connection.
Okay. All right. So, and then, we see each other in real life and he's in my car and we've been talking online and FaceTiming and I'm like, hey.
All shy.
So there you are.
She thought I was much
like,
taller than I was.
I did. I thought he was tall.
I'm only 5'9.5", maybe. No, okay, 5'9".
Thankfully, Missy's like 4'9", so it helped.
Yeah.
He looks tall
Yeah.
next to me. Yeah. So, yeah, it's really interesting story.
Awesome. I love it. I think that's so special. And now you guys are, you moved out to Chicago and then you guys moved to San Diego together. Death of the Desk is up and going. You guys are at a new space to train clients in person. And something I love about Death of the Desk is you guys do these great 2-minute drills.
Yeah.
Can we do a 2-minute drill right here? And let's do it. Like, we're sitting at a desk, right?
Yes.
And maybe we can do it with like arms and since we got headsets on, can we do something arms, elbows, or wrists or fingers?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to do?
You're leading.
I'm leading.
You're leading.
Okay. So let's do wrist.
Okay.
Start with wrist. Okay. So you're super tall. You're seated.
Before we start, what you have to realize, it doesn't matter if it does matter. Like it does, if you can stand up, great. But dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, those, right? When you move your joints, you will stimulate those chemicals in your brain. When those are stimulated in your brain, you will have more energy. So if you're sitting down at your desk or in a meeting or whatever, and you're bored and you're falling asleep, move your joints, couple minutes, 2 minutes, your energy levels will boost. So is something as small as wrist circles actually make a difference?
Right.
They really do.
That you can do in your cubicle and people don't have to wonder like, why are you doing this?
Not to mention, you'll probably be mitigating carpal tunnel issues down the road if you start moving your joints.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, so elbows to ribs, stand super tall. Try not to overextend. So try to make a neutral spine. Lengthen the back of the neck, elbows to ribs like a little T-Rex. Top of the wrist is going to go up as far as you can, and then bottom of the wrist go down.
Leading that movement with the wrist.
The wrist, yep.
Fingers are trailing.
The hard part about this is keeping pinkies and index in the same plane.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to try to do this versus...
So is creating global motion bad? Like if I'm rotating a bunch out, is it still valuable? Or
It's still valuable. I would say still do it rather than not. Now for you, okay, so let's see extension. Now right here, try to bring your finger pads, like really flex those wrists. Yeah. So I call this one paint the fence, for obvious reasons. Now, pause at the bottom, fingertips flat. This one's called smooth the sheets. Inside of the wrist, go in towards each other, and then outside of the wrist, go out. And again, the hard part about this is pinkies and index in the same plane. For fancy terminology, this is called radius and ulnar deviation. But for everybody else, it's called smooth the sheets.
Sam, do you feel your wrist getting tired?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of wrist work.
Yeah. Now shake it out and just kind of notice there's
Some heat.
stuff happening there.
Yeah.
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 Let's do T-spine too. Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, here we go. So I call these I Dream of Jeannie sequence. Well, you'll know why in a second.
Is that the Latin root
Yes,
term? Okay,
exactly.
Dream
Has
of
the
Genies.
best names for
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
I love
girls.
it.
Okay, so cat camel seated. So inhale, spread your collarbone, lift your chin, eyes up. Inhale. Exhale, round, spread your shoulder blades. Okay, 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. You're really trying to focus on spreading this part, the front of the vertebrae. So they're spreading. And
For all
then
you-
exhale the back.
For all you on it folks, you might think of the inhale as Superman.
Oh, yes,
Mm.
Superman. Now go I Dream of Jeannie. This is aging me because probably half of the listeners don't know who this is. Do you know who that is? I
I'm
Dream
older
of
than
Jeannie.
you, aren't I?
No, I'm 32.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
old as shit.
Anyways, you get it. He's 36. He's the oldest.
Yeah, but he looks good.
Yeah,
Old
he looks like
Man
25.
River.
So you're going to try to stack your elbows on top of each other, open your armpit, and lean over with it,
Don't fall though.
and exhale back to center. So the spine should be able to do this.
Look how much more they move than me.
Oop, I just heard a pop.
Okay, 2 more each side. Exhale over. You're trying to get your elbows parallel to the side wall. Relax the shoulders, jaw, and neck. Try to use the least amount of tension that you can, and you do it very relaxed. Good. Was that 3 each way? I don't know.
Do one more.
One
just
more.
For good
Okay.
measure.
I didn't say I could count. I just studied neurology, but I can't do simple math.
Well,
I just can't do
the
it.
other day you were
Counting?
doing a very complex protein
Oh,
mathematical
gosh.
equation.
Okay. Last one is I Dream of Jeannie.
Does it matter what hand is on
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
And you're going to try to get,
You're rotating.
your shoulders parallel to the sidewall.
Keep your hips still. Just
Keep your
rotate
hips
from
still and rotate.
Use breathing. So exhale.
Relax the shoulders. This is driven from your spine. And if you can, try to see how far you can go with a minimal amount of discomfort, and where you're just teaching your spine that everything's okay and you're safe.
I feel like I could go sprint.
Yeah,
run a
I'm ready.
race.
Let's run.
Oh,
That was
so
great.
that's a little
Energy's
2-minute drill.
just, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh, I already feel like an uptick in my
Yeah.
my cadence of how I talk, and like I'm ready to
A
go.
little pep in your step.
Yeah, and like
2
we
minutes.
did it seated. We did it with freaking headsets on.
Yeah.
Like it's not like we couldn't. I mean, I don't know much more restriction you could be than to do that right
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. And you guys post a lot of these and have these on
Mhm.
YouTube and Instagram and on your website.
Yeah.
Yep.
So where can people find y'all across the board? You guys got a lot of handles, a lot of ways to connect with you.
It's very difficult.
Yeah. First, you can get us on the website, deathofthedesk.com. And we do courses, we do resources, tutorials, quick fixes, videos. We have that's our membership platform that is really a bridge for us to as many people as possible to
Yeah.
help them through our
We
tools.
created it because we know people can't afford to hire us in every single day.
Yeah.
It's, very, very affordable, and you get everything.
Mhm.
You get all the access to us.
And then Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook.com/deathofthedesk. Instagram, same
didn't know
thing.
that.
Instagram.com/deathofthedesk.
Or
Anything
just
else?
At Death of the Desk.
Yeah, at Death
Twitter.
of the Desk.
It's all Death of the Desk.
It's
It's
all
super easy
Death
to
of the
find.
Desk.
We're
on
all
the-
easy to find.
All the social media.
And then
platforms.
your own personal, if you people want to stalk you.
That's easy too. Missy Bunch. You'll find all the things in the Googles.
Yep, at Ryan Steenrod.
So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's at Missy Bunch 15. It's my favorite number. And I do a lot of, I'm very inspirational, movement based on there. So
Yeah, I'm just at Ryan Steenrod. Yeah.
I'm just Ryan. At
Ryan's
Ryan.
just a day in
Yeah,
my
yeah,
life. Yeah.
if you guys have any questions, just definitely reach out to us. I love working with real
Yeah.
people with real questions and actually taking care of you. So we're always available. It won't be the most, immediate response, but definitely within 24 hours.
Yeah.
I just got to say before we cut off here, we railed on pizza and Mexican food at the beginning of this. Pizza and Mexican food is bomb. I love it. We love it.
Wow, that was like really sitting
Yeah.
in him. I didn't even know we talked about
Chicago,
that.
man. Chicago pizza. Like, I
big
love
style,
pizza.
big floppy pieces, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Like pizza's
Thin, floppy pieces.
Pizza's good in moderation, right? So, and then, we're having tacos at our wedding. So
Nice. And
Great.
we're on our way to brunch right now, right?
Yeah.
We're about to go meet the Strength Matters crew and go have
Strength
brunch with
Matters
them.
crew.
So, it's like, it's just
It's all love.
It's all love, right? So thank you guys for sharing your love with me and the Fitness Break Room crew. It was special to have you guys on.
Thank you
Thanks,
for having
Sam.
us.
Bye,
Always.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks again for listening to the Fitness Break Room podcast, everybody. You can follow us on Instagram at Fitness Break Room. And if you're looking to enter our monthly fitness swag giveaway, you can visit our website, fitnessbreakroom.com, and all that info's on the homepage. Hundreds of dollars worth of awesome stuff, so I wouldn't miss that. And then you can even subscribe to this podcast on iTunes and leave us a review if you're digging what we're bringing you. That would be awesome and very helpful. Okay, guys, have a beautiful week. Stay strong and always look out for the little guy.
Eyes in the sky.